And crap, we're live.
Hey everybody, uh, welcome to Fandible Office Hours. I'm Dave,
I'm Dan.
and we are here to talk some stuff before we record tonight's episode.
Whatever
So
that may be.
we started right at 7:30 on the dot as
On the
usual.
dot as usual.
Yeah,
No,
no problems
no
whatsoever.
problem. Please feel free to adjust your clocks to match now. Like 30 seconds ago would have been 7:30.
Mm-hmm,
Please do so accordingly.
mm-hmm. That's what Eastern Standard Time is.
Mhm.
It's whatever time we get started becomes standard. So, ooh, a professional would turn off his
They would.
alerts.
They would.
So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So yeah, here we are. Now I believe last time, Dan,
Mm.
when we left off, we talked about having some sort of exchanging nightmare stories about Vampire the Masquerade because of its old school, oh so edgy demeanor. But I'd also like to open that up to
Mm.
larger nightmare stories about role playing in general, role playing games in general.
Fair,
Uh,
fair.
now,
Vampires shouldn't get to have all the fun.
no, absolutely not. Absolutely, they try to, but they shouldn't. And we've discussed this before. We were actually just discussing this before we went live. That Fandible has kept us in this bubble, right?
Yes.
We look out into the greater world, and we see what other people go through to play role playing games and how their tolerance for stuff they might let slide is higher than what we would have.
Yeah.
And hats off to you, really. God bless you. I don't know how you do it. But understandably, when you're looking for a role playing group, they don't just like come out of the woodwork, right?
Right.
You know, like I grew up in a city in Maine. We had a pseudo gaming store, comic book place where you would put up pieces of paper, you know, little tearaway things that said like looking, you know, fifth edition D&D or whatever, looking for a paladin, or do you want to play a Ravenous game, stuff like that. And also there was Shadowrun, and we had stuff like that, but inevitably you were still sitting down with a bunch of randos in real life
Yeah.
and hoping for the absolute best. And you could show up or not show up. There was no longevity for players, for characters, and stuff like that. And I personally saw some real, just absolutely buck wild stuff when I was in those games. Did you play many pickup games or like games with complete strangers aside from us?
I mean, not so much when I was on the island. On the island, I was mostly a group of friends. And even when we did eventually branch out into kind of vampy, LARPy stuff with a bigger group, it was still everybody knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was still like friends of friends. It wasn't like complete strangers. Really wasn't until I got to the states that I really started like, well, I have no friends here. So,
Yeah.
but and yet I have no friends yet. I must game. And so I had to deal with like rando groups, and it's been up and down. There was this one group I met like maybe 10 to 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That yeah, we've kept kind of playing every now and then. When we get a chance.
But still randos that, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
you don't want to get to know.
No, God, no.
Yeah, totally, totally get it.
Not recommended. We actually have a quick question from hey Eagle D20. Welcome back, long time
Hey,
viewer, if you will. Vampire the Masquerade horror stories. Have you seen the story of the Purple Hotel with their national game? I have not heard this story.
Purple Hotel sounds like euphemism for a penis. I'm not
I
gonna
mean, yeah,
lie.
scale the Purple Hotel. Mm. Uh,
No, please enlighten us.
yes, please. Put it in the
Love to.
chat. We will. Yeah,
Oh
this
boy.
sounds fascinating and horrifying.
Oh,
That's probably not coming through in the microphones, but the automatic cat feeder just went off.
yeah, and the automatic cat feeder is actually my voice saying my cat's name and it doing a
Offering
little
dinner.
like, and now he's looking at me. The food's right in front of you, man.
Like,
It's all right.
but maybe there's more food here.
He's very skeptical because it's pate and he does
Mm.
not like pate. Oh God, he's gonna try to eat. gonna try to eat the
We'll
dog's
we'll
food now.
have to search for the bot. Alas, does not allow posting links.
Okay.
So because we assume you all of you are spammers. But
Yeah.
we
So
will search
I
for
will get on my
GhettoCon.
trusty shit Chromebook. No, I love you Chromebook, but
I forgot I tried to do like a thing to make people's chat appear on the right there. Yeah,
oh,
that's
you did.
I tried. I
Oh,
mean, it's there. There it is. That's great. All right.
hey, the production value that you expect from Fandible office hours,
Uh,
from specifically the two of us.
but yes, we should look up GhettoCon. Uh,
GhettoCon?
GhettoCon apparently. Hang on. He's gonna send it. He's gonna send it to Dave. He's gonna send it to Dave.
Okay,
It,
here we go, everybody. So so Dan, since I'm going to be doing some Ace research.
Right?
Oh, and before we start, actually,
Mm.
I am going to. You'll probably notice that I have one of my goblets, one of my dignity cups,
There would be.
and I will explain why I call it a dignity cup if you're so inclined. But this is one of my dignity cups, and I'm going to be drinking and sharing if you're so
Yes,
interested,
yes.
Dan. Uh,
I mean, if I can, as long as I can mix it with Red Bull, I think.
you are not mixing my Dalmore 12-year single malt scotch
I will. I
with your
suppose I will.
fucking energy drink. Not just because I and my heritage are insulted,
Yeah.
but specifically also because you might die.
That's. I mean,
You would,
also
like,
that just sounds. That just sounds horrid.
last
Honestly,
known
like that's
footage of Dan.
stripping naked and off into the woods. You're in the middle of New York City. Where the fuck do you
I've
find
al-
some woods? I just
I've always wanted to make a found footage movie.
Right?
I just didn't know it'd be this. Yeah. So once you're done with
yeah,
with
yeah.
that,
I will. I will.
there's a effortlessly placed small corporate cup over there that we can cover the we can
Oh, yeah.
Greek it so
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you don't.
Yeah,
Dalmore, by the way, begged us not to use their product in this stream,
yeah,
and we didn't listen. Dalmore, they make fantastic scotch. Their emblem is a stag's head, and they are in no way giving us money, and nor would we take it.
Nor would we take it. We
But
want
we
none of their filthy money.
But we do want their delicious scotch.
Wait, is this the cup that you're just picking up?
Yeah. You'll notice that it's oh, I don't think it's been used.
I don't think it's been used in years.
No, it hasn't been. It has been used. We put this actually here for
Scare away ghosts.
yeah, scare away ghosts. So yeah. Would you like some?
I thought I had a.
Has it?
That's fine.
Yeah. No, I just.
All right, cool.
Anyways, but we have to Greek it because
Yep.
don't want this company suing us.
Yeah.
So Greek is to turn
Yes, definitely.
labels away from the camera, by the way. So, anyways, here's to just terrible role playing stories. Hey, man. Chin chin. Cheers. Sancha Nasrovia. Oh, God, that's so good. Please, one more.
Oh, that
please,
is
please
lovely.
sponsor us with whiskey.
That is lovely, though.
All right, so we've got comments coming in.
Yeah, we do. All right, so apparently something was sent to you,
right.
but also, yes, it would be an insult to the Red Bull to splash whiskey on it.
So you sons of
And Tristan Geek does mention that we did ask about 2-player games, and we will get to that. But he does. They do suggest. I think Iron Sworn is supposed to be good at that, but they have not tried it themselves. So
Iron Sworn.
Iron Sworn. Look that up as well. But
That sounds
first get Ghetto
fun.
I mean, we're just gonna let's see here because we are not professionals, so I don't have like I can't like bring in the video or anything like that.
Oh,
but-
it's an actual video on YouTube. All right,
yeah.
so
we'll have to sit.
review
Yeah,
that.
we'll sit down and review this, and we'll get back to you on it.
That'll be the next-
But that'll be fun to suffer through.
Oh boy, howdy! Thank you very much, Eagle Training. Appreciate it.
If we do get a sponsor, we should ask for the 25-year mentions Eagle D20 before adding in that Iron Sworn is powered by the Apocalypse, so there is that. But super neat, you can even play it without a GM, just yourself.
Huh. So kind of like when I found out that you can play Arkham Horror by yourself. It's intriguing, but also
Also, yeah, I mean, it sounds like the kind of thing a Cthulhu fan would do, though.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, um, so let's get to cracking
Mhm.
with the knacking, as it were. I will start with, and this is a D&D horror story that I might have brought up on the podcast before. Um, but once upon a time, myself and Tex, friend of the show, were going over to a good friend's house, and he had his own D&D group. Now, this is when it turned out that pretty much everybody, he was like, part of the goth scene and like rave scene, and like everybody, somebody was a D&D player, right?
Mhm.
So this is where I developed my trick of God, what was it? I used to say something to a crowd like roll for initiative or something, and whoever perked up, I'd be like, fucking gotcha. There was always one person. So, anyways, we went over to our friend's house, and he was one of those lovely people, and super chill guy, super nice guy, and met his D&D group. Now, Tex and we at this point we were in our late teens. We had been playing since 12, so we had really gone through the like growth arc
Mhm.
of like taking it super seriously, and then we had landed on the other end of like, yeah, it's a game and it's fine. We played D&D to death,
Yeah.
so let's have fun. We start playing now. um I play an elf rage warrior. I don't know what it's called. I think
Barbarian?
no, it was like
Mm.
a specific kind of like you're brought back to life to have revenge
Yeah.
on something. Storyteller rolled GM rolled it up for me. I said like that looks cool. Let's do it. I am found. I'm a woman elf. I'm found naked, chained to a wall in a dungeon. That is
Mm.
literally my introduction to the game.
Mm.
And it bears mentioning that the DM was is a gay man.
Mhm.
So I was kind of surprised by this overt heterosexual horniness, or perceived heterosexual horniness.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I realized, like, oh, it's supposed to be edgy, I guess.
Mm.
And it doesn't help that I immediately start role playing.
Yeah.
And I'm talking, and then the players start talking. So the ranger or whatever starts talking to me, and then the other players start talking amongst themselves because the scene's going on, and the ranger talking to me says, "I'm trying to ask the elf to join the party," and then he says, "I ask you to join the party," like a fucking video game.
Yeah.
Like, click A to have the elf join your party. And that's when Tex and I look at each other and we're like, oh no, they don't like making the mouth sounds in
Yeah.
character.
Yep.
Uh, yeah.
And look, man, that's fine for a lot of
It's
home
it's
groups.
it's
Yeah, exactly. It's
completely valid. We're not shitting
yeah,
on it. It's
exactly.
just not
But
our
it's exactly.
scene.
But we're looking for to make with the word mounts because we don't make good with the math dice.
Mm,
So so we have to like the mouth sounds is all we got.
yep. So so go through, we meet Tex's character, and I'm constantly getting criticized about how I'm playing my character because I'm playing
Mm.
an elf, and elves are so long lived that they wouldn't be temperamental. But I'm also like a rage monster fighter thing, so I'm like trying to balance these things. I've been thrown into it. I'm trying to play as best as I can.
Mm.
There's a mixture of I say or people just rolling
Mm.
for social stuff. That's fine. And at some point, Tex and I decide that this ship is going down, and we are going to be the quartet, the violin quartet playing on the deck as it does so, because we meet a super powerful wizard that's a NPC MacGuffin, right?
Right, right.
They're there to push the story forward. It becomes a not fetch quest. What is it? When you guide somebody,
Oh,
protect them.
escort quest,
Escort
basically.
quest. Thank you. Yeah, an escort quest. And of course, the wizard is just the most obnoxious piece of shit. And so it's just beat by beat, so tropey, so stereotypical. We're very surprised by our friend like running this game. Maybe it was for his friends,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. If you're watching, by the way, love you, miss you, hope you're doing well. Uh, but Anyways, I started talking shit back to the very dismissive, very arrogant wizard.
Mm.
And while walking on a bridge, he decided to fireball me because I would not let up. Fans of the show will know that when I decide to talk some serious shit, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like my brain is 5 sentences behind my mouth when it comes to trying to pull back. And so I'm talking some serious shit. Everybody's freaking out. I get fireballed. The DM hands me a d20, looks me in the eyes, and says, "Roll high." 4. Tex and I burst out laughing, and then I roll again. 1. That is, I believe, the inception of my bad. No, that's not true. That
No,
started when I
no.
was a kid. But that was really where I learned to enjoy my curse and throw up my hands like I'm on Splash Mountain and just dive down.
Whee!
We were pissing, crying, laughing, and everyone, I'll never forget this. Everyone in the room just stared at us like we just watched a puppy get hit by a car, and we're laughing our asses off. And we were like, thank you so much. You know what? This is great. We pour ourselves some more drinks. We watch the game go on, and then we're like, hey, we're gonna go. They're taking a break. We're like, oh, we're gonna go. Like, thank you so much. And everyone's like, yeah. Like, no, they don't even speak. Like
Yeah.
the DM, our
Yeah.
friend, is like, yeah, well, thanks so much, man. I'm sorry you didn't have a good time. And Tex and I are like, what are you talking about? That was amazing. Like, that was amazing. I've never seen that spell used before. And we were never invited back, strangely.
Weird, weird.
Yeah, exactly. Because I thought that, like, definitely one of the things you want in a game as a dungeon master is somebody showing up to the table who constantly cycles through one hit characters like they're smoking cigarettes and constantly getting them killed by the end of the game.
Yep.
I would love that. Not in Fandible, not in any of our games, except for maybe End of the World. But yeah, that was one of my first, like, not nightmare, but it was one of my first introductions into like being a wrong fit. And I
Yeah,
hope I
yeah.
didn't mess with anybody's night that night. I want to be so clear. I didn't want
Right.
to like fuck with anybody there, but it was it wasn't great. And like we saw them at the game store and stuff, and they never talked to us. They wouldn't even look at us.
Role players.
Role players. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but it was also a comic book store, so like really.
That's, that's what they whispered under their breath when they saw you, like, fucking nerds. Look,
Yeah.
we're trying to play our war game in peace, and these fucking nerds are like acting.
Oh yeah. No, it felt like that. It felt
Yeah,
like that.
theater nerds. Can't deal with them. But yeah, no, I mean, look, as somebody who's watched you go on a verbal rampage towards NPCs or otherwise, I want to say, like, part of me is like, well, NPC, GM characters shouldn't just basically murder PCs on a whim. On the other hand, again, having seen you in action, if one of my NPCs has the ability to just cast fireballs, it's what his character would do. Honestly, it's
Yeah.
like, boom.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
my biggest problem was though that at that point in my role playing experience, it was just very tropey to have like
yeah,
the English accented, very dismissive, arrogant, literally ivory towered wizard talking down to everyone and acting so important. And I was just surprised because I thought the DM had more up his sleeve,
yeah,
honestly. But then afterwards, Tex and I talked about it, and we're like, maybe that's just straight up like we don't know the experience levels of the other people at the table.
right.
Maybe they wanted, or he wanted, the storyteller wanted to give them the bog standard D&D, and like I felt bad afterwards. It's like I
Yeah.
hope I didn't fuck up people's like first experience, but at the same time, that was amazing. Amazing. Like seriously, it's like that scene from Terminator. I was just a fucking skeleton all of a sudden. I'm sure I was important to the game. It didn't matter. How about you, Dan? You ever have like a complete record scratch at the very least of
Mm.
a. Come on, we've been to enough cons at this point, so that
I
there's got to
mean,
be something where you're like, uh oh, like, oh.
like kinda, not really. First of all, let me catch up real quick with we got a well, first of all we got a spammer, so we'll block that eventually. But let's just catch up real quick. Tristan, yeah, he him is fine. All right, great, good, no problem, Tristan Geek. Uh, didn't know it was PBTA. Fandible's hatred of PBTA, actually one of my favorite traits of theirs. I mean, there's PBTA, also known as just like powered by the apocalypse or barely tolerated by Fandible.
Mm-hmm.
It's
TM.
yeah, it's its own system. Barely was it BTBF? Yeah, that was it.
Yeah,
BTBF.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
barely tolerated by Fandible. Um, so I mean, we'll take a look. It might be a good game.
But then again, like Blades in the Dark is also technically powered by the
Yeah. Although
apocalypse, like
now it's
file
its
down.
own thing.
Really? Oh yeah,
Now
because
it
there's
powers
blades.
other
Yeah, yeah,
things
yeah, yeah.
forward. Like it
Love it.
just builds. Eagle D20. David slams shot glass down. Kevin DeLuca rises to the surface.
Wait,
Uh,
like that's my Hulk. Like don't don't talk about the Patriots. You wouldn't like me if you talked about the Patriots.
yeah.
Oh no, fucking not again.
And Tristan asks if we can get a close up shot of that the goblet.
Yeah, sure, of course.
There we go.
It's a bunch of unicorns.
Look at it. Look at that autofocus. That's some good shit. All right, there we go. We have officially banned
There
the
is
spammer.
there we go. There is a Cthulhu one also that I've been thinking of getting, but I really like. I like my. I called them dignity cups years ago
Mm-hmm.
in my old apartment when I just met Fandible. As listeners may know, I don't like to take myself too seriously, so I got a really cheap ghost cup. It was like a sippy cup that had ghosts on it,
Mm-hmm.
and whenever I was having a really bad day, I would drink from that. And I would call it my dignity cup as a joke, but it would just be one of those things where it would remind me like, don't take yourself too seriously. Like it's gonna be okay. So I'd be drinking like a martini from a little sippy glass and with a little straw that pops out and stuff like that. And so from there, I always wanted to have, because they would break, but I would always want to have some sort of ridiculous thing to drink out of. And today's been fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just drinking it from it because I keep it here in the recording studio. And yeah, so that's why I have unicorns, and I didn't want something like super masculine and awesome. And it's just like, oh, it's swords and wizards casting spells to blow my character up. But I was like, no, unicorns, because one of the most I love horror movies, and one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen is The Last Unicorn. That has to be one of the most frightening fucking movies that I have ever seen. So yeah, I saw unicorns, and I was like, both kind of silly and amazing, and also reminds me of my formative years becoming a spooky little bastard. So, anyways,
It is very last unicorny, like
it
in
is, it
general
is, it is, it
style. Yeah,
is,
yeah.
it is.
Now that you mention it, yeah.
Yeah, and to the point where I was like, ooh, they probably got letters from lawyers, but I want to buy
Mm-hmm.
it before they have to stop production. So,
All right. So yeah, we have a couple more comments.
mhm.
Skies Arc 42, welcome. And Ken Doyle 659, both complimenting the fancy or nice vessel.
Thank you.
And D Marma said, that's my secret cab. I'm always wicked man. So
I
that's
love that. I love that. For those of you who can draw or can't, as we were trying to draw some
yeah,
things that
earlier.
were concept art, I guess, proof of concept for office hours.
Concept
Actually,
sketches. Using the word art is
oh no,
it
no,
feels like a stretch. Feels like a
exactly,
real stretch. Concept
exactly.
sketches.
Yeah,
Sketches, I think it's a yeah.
doodles at the
Doodles.
very
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
But yeah, please go ahead,
Mhm.
even poorly, even if you do not draw at all, even if it's on a napkin in a
It's still
cocktail
better than
bar that
anything
you
we
are
can pull off.
watching right now on your phone,
Yeah.
then please go ahead and, and
Skip.
draw Kevin DeLuco as the Hulk.
Right. Tristan mentions nice. I have a green man goblet like that. Oh,
Oh,
green man, like the plant, like the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like green man.
I love it.
And
Love it.
that I can picture it now. The washable metal liners are so good.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So they come right out.
yeah. Which
Um,
is great
and fantastic. Yeah, they're
because
super easy to.
this whole part is probably not dishwasher safe.
No, no,
No,
definitely
no.
not.
Yeah,
And
no. I mean, unless your dishwasher, you want random gems
mhm.
floating around, rattling around in there.
It's so indulgent and ridiculous and cheap. It's amazing. Um, if I had to hide jewels, I would hide it encrusted in this thing, proudly displayed on
Right?
my like nerd like columns.
Yeah.
Because no
Who
one
would
would believe
ever?
these
Yeah,
are
yeah.
actually like
Who would ever?
like valuable anything. So
Eagle D20 mentions that another two-player game. There's another good two-player game called Scarlet Heroes. They have a free quick start guide, if I remember correctly. It's based on Labyrinth Lords, which is basically an OSR game. Never heard of Labyrinth Lords, but OSR, old school revival, I believe. Yeah, basically old school D&D. Should be
Scarlet Lords.
Scarlet Heroes is the name of the game.
Okay. Yeah, drive the RPG. All right.
We'll take
Cool.
a look. Um, Skystar 42, hell of a good book, but the movie was a little freaky for the young me. I'm assuming talking about Last Unicorn, not Scarlet Heroes. I was like, how did that get a movie? Um, but yeah, no, yeah, it was when it came out, and as a little kid, yeah, it was a lot. It was
Mm,
a lot back then.
yeah.
The Last
Yeah.
Unicorn, that
This
ball
is
and
during
everything.
the era of the 80s and 90s when movies would come out that are animation. And so parents would be like, animation, obviously it's
Mm.
kid friendly, and would bring us to them. And then we would walk out different people. And
Yeah,
we're children, we're
yeah.
not people
Like
yet.
we went and we saw this movie for kids
Yeah.
because it's animated called The Secret of Nim.
Oh, The Secret of Nim. Oh my God. Oh, The
Yeah,
Dark Crystal?
Dark Crystal. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, what's it called?
The one about magic, like dying in the world?
yeah,
That,
or
like, yeah, the.
the
Yeah,
Black Cauldron with that overly fuckable pig. Yeah,
Oh, shout out to Laura, friend of the show,
yeah.
for introducing us to the Black Cauldron and just the absolute weird horniness of the illustrators making a pig with really long
Eyelashes.
eyelashes.
Yeah. That was
Oh, that was a choice.
surprisingly, yeah.
That was a choice. Um, but anyways, back to the subject at hand. How many LARPs have you been to? Would you say?
I can actually count them. Let's see. There was a big vampire LARP in Puerto Rico. There was the Changeling the Dreaming LARP in college. There was a mix LARP here in New York that I went to for a while. That was like all
Really?
everything. Yeah. The one that my old landlord used to
Oh
run.
my God! Yeah, I
Yeah,
never
yeah.
made it to
That
that
whole
one.
thing.
Well, because I wanted to go, and then I heard about your landlord,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, shout out to my old landlord.
I
But
was, by the way, this close to bringing Paige.
well,
Yeah, because
yeah,
I
no.
explained it. It was like, oh yeah, it's basically just acting and
I mean, most of the people involved were fine.
yeah.
Just the people that ran. Not necessarily want to be in that crowd. But anyway, so that's basically three, and then just any random lives that I've been in cons. That's basically it.
Does your old landlord know you're Latino?
He I'm sure he guessed for the
not
last name,
not to tip
but
the
he just
hand about
but
what
he
might have
just
been wrong with him.
yeah, no, but he just kept looking at me and going like, can't be.
Can't be.
It's like
No.
yeah, it's like he was blinded by the white. So
Racked up like a deuce, another roller.
yeah. But point is, it's basically those three those three LARPs and like and then just the random ones that I've been to at cons. So not that many really.
Yeah, the con ones are great though.
Actually, wait, no, there was Vampire Puerto Rico, Vampire in college, and then Changeling in college. Because the Vampire one I joined, that's the one I've told the story. I don't know how many. I never know who I've told the story to or not, but that was the one where I
Yes,
played a
Grandpa, we heard the
Malkavian.
one.
Listen, bro, Sonny, Back in my day,
we played rock paper scissors to
but we
to.
called it Dan Dave. Dan Dave and Troll. Look, people, you have to be hanging out with us at all times so you get these jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Which is why we're going to do one of these every morning until
just yeah,
sunset.
it's gonna be
You'll just follow us.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
it's gonna be great. Um,
yeah, no, but LARPs are rife for, and chime in the comments, by the way, with any sort of like LARP stories that
yeah,
you've got if you've played LARPs. And I understand that LARP also goes over into Ren fairs and
hmm
boffer LARPs and
yeah.
things like that. That's not our
But we'll take the
experience.
horror stories from them anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Boffer LARPs. God, I don't. I can't imagine the horror stories. Please, no physical ones.
Yeah.
Um, but uh, but yeah. So uh, you played Malkavian.
Yeah, I played a Malkavian, and this was meant to be like a sort of PvP kind of LARP. So
Oh
there
no.
were Camarilla vampire players and there were Sabat vampire players, and they both kind of like had their own thing, and there was conflict, but it wasn't full open conflict and whatnot. And what happened was technically just somebody getting confused out of character
Mm-hmm.
because I was there. I still didn't know who were the Sabat and who were the Camarilla. But
Okay.
these two, I was playing Camarilla, so and my character's whole thing, his shtick as a Malkavian was that he claimed he was, and he seemed to truly believe that he was Sherlock Holmes. He was
Okay.
the real Sherlock Holmes. All those stories were about him, and he had collaborated with Arthur Conan Doyle and told him things, but didn't give him the full story, of course, but enough to make it an interesting yarn. And everybody just assumed like he's a Malkavian, he's insane, but he had the skills to back it up. He
Interesting.
really had like the stats wise. He was like investigation 5, intelligence 5. Like he got like the stats to
Mm-hmm.
back up that he could have been the world's greatest detective. Anyway, so this was very shortly after I started.
Hi, Dogberry.
Hey, buddy.
Oh my
Very shortly after the game started, these two Sabat players approached me, and they didn't know, they didn't see me before, but for whatever reason, they assumed I was with them. So they just come up to me and they start going like, "Hey, aren't you coming to come help unload the guns?" And my guys, like, my character would have just taken the opportunity, and so I'm like, okay, this is in character here, so uh yeah,
Yeah, that's
sorry about
exactly
that.
what
I'll just
every iteration of
right.
Sherlock Holmes would have been like. Indubitably.
Indubitably, Sarge. Let's go. And as they're walking, they're discussing that they're getting this big shipment of guns because they were planning an attack on the Camarilla Elysium that evening.
Okay.
And so I was helping unpack the guns, and so at one point they literally leave me alone with the boxes of guns, and I turn to the nearest GM and go like, "Hey, you know I'm Camarilla, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, dude, I know. What the fuck?" And I'm like, can I just jam all these guns like chewing gum or whatever? And he's like, yeah, man, let's do this. All right. So we figured out, and my character jammed all the guns. And he was like, look, if they test these guns before they attack, they're going to realize they're jammed. Like, yeah, no, I'm not being terribly subtle about this,
Mhm.
but I mean, I am jamming them. I'm not being obvious. I'm not like, but I was like removing bits or stuffing bits in the whatever. Point is, they were going to jam when they fired them. These players just assumed
They
everything was fine.
didn't. You're kidding
Yeah,
me.
they
They
never checked.
didn't.
So the attack went through. Like the next time we played was when the attack was going to go through. So they corner the Camarilla. They break in. They're like, and now you all die. Freedom from from the yoke of the Camarilla. Click, click, and
Click.
they go bang, 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 and that's what the storyteller is stepping like. Actually, click, click, click. I'm just like
Oh my
in the back, like,
god.
and then one of them actually spots me, like, wait, why is he with the camera? Oh fuck.
As somebody who was on staff for a LARP, I can tell you the glee
Oh
that
yeah,
happens
yeah,
when
yeah.
you compare notes at the end of the night at Denny's during in the storyteller table
Yes.
um, is, I mean, like the joy that bursts out of you when your players are creating more hooks for your story than
Yep.
like you could ever come up with.
Yep. Yep.
That's one of the joys of LARPs is all of the chaos, all the interworking parts. As a storyteller, you basically try to you're hurting cats.
Yeah.
You're trying to keep everybody invested and involved and telling your story, understanding that the intricacies of what the characters do with other characters in the LARP will more than likely um, spark creativity in you because they will be so much more interesting than what you do alone writing it down on a piece of paper
Oh
and
yeah.
being like, okay, this is the storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of my big weird LARP misunderstanding
Yep.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a few new chats. Let's see. Eagle D20. Oh, I saw one. Saw a guy hit an. Oh, here we go. I think there's a buffer LARP story.
Mhm.
Saw a guy hit another dude with a mag light. Oof, that was really big. Metal flashlights. He
I
was.
have one here.
Yeah,
It's
those
a
can
bludgeon
hurt.
that occasionally illuminates things.
Yeah. He was arrested and was also very unstable, not permitted back in.
Oh,
You
that's
know,
so sad.
it was a vampire game, of course.
I've been at LARPs
Yeah.
where people are not well
Yeah, it's one I was
and
like, oh, you
they're
should
not invited
not.
back.
You
Yeah,
should not be. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But wow, a fucking man!
I mean,
Like,
an actual arrest, that's like, yeah. Yeah.
did they have to dress as constables? Sorry. It's very
Oh,
serious, but
there's
I
got
do
to be
want to know.
I mean, there's a couple episodes. Look, every single sort of like police procedural slash comedy supernatural thing, like Lucifer and I'm sure Buffy and pretty much all of them have at some point had the LARP episode where
Oh
they
no,
need to go into a LARP and they are stopped at the door. And hell, fucking Hawkeye just did that. Spoilers for first episode of Hawkeye. He has to like find someone who's in a LARP for reasons. And they stop fucking Hawkeye at the door, and they know who he is. And this is in the Marvel world universe. Everybody knows. They're like, yeah, we know who you are, Mister Hawkeye, sir. But the rules are the rules, and you gotta put you got it's a LARP.
have you ever watched Reno 911?
Yes,
Because
yes.
Reno
Oh,
911
the
and
LARP.
Patton Oswalt's reoccurring
Fucking
character is
hell,
basically
yes.
constantly that.
Yes,
It was
yes,
constantly
yes. I remember that.
breaking up a D&D game that got really violent.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
fucking love it. Um,
So Sky's our kitty. Yes, he is around still somewhere. Kendo Ositfa, the NSA must hate those discussions. I don't know which one, but that was well, one of us was ranting. Denny's mentions Eagle D20, the after LARP food of choice, but not the Denny's nearby. It's always the one on the other side of town.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
There's always
yeah.
that's why you've got to get a ride.
Yeah.
Part of a good part of Denny's, a good part of a LARP is trying
Figuring
to,
out who you're going home with, who's
Yeah.
taking you home at the end of the
I
night.
have straight up iced a character who is my ride, and I wanted to make so dude, are we cool out? He's like, yeah, of course, man. Like,
Just
like
checking.
well done. Like, okay, cool. And it was always like, all right, well, I'm gonna. So what that meant was usually, sometimes, not usually, but sometimes, if you facilitated rides and stuff like that,
Yeah, no.
like
Your character is likely to be murdered.
less likely to be murdered, or if your friends vouch for you and be like, I like this guy's whose
Yeah.
character I killed. I wrote in, and like you do a write up for
Oh, yeah,
those of
yeah.
you who have not played LARPs. You do a write up, which is basically a short essay, even if it's bullet point stuff your character did, and then stuff your character wants to do, and it's a way for the storytellers to be able to understand where the moving parts are going. And excuse me, and in those write-ups you can also put in like notes, and I would always put in notes like, hey, by the way, Aaron was my ride home. He was super cool with me killing his character.
Yeah.
Like, I just want that to be known. He was like super awesome about it, and like not a lot of people would be. And they'd be like, cool, Aaron gets 10 XP for his
Right,
new
for his next character. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because like you want to encourage good
Out of character
people.
behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So
Let's see. We got
also Denny's. Sorry, real quick, Denny's. Yes, our other side of town. It didn't matter. We always went to the same fucking Denny's in Orono, Maine, and it was so good. And all the different genres would sit at different tables. It was so weird and high schooly, but at
Yeah.
the same time, I've never had more fun sitting down at a fucking Denny's. And the look of the of like the aging woman who looks like she's kept aloft by cigarettes and hate. Just like seeing us walk in because it's and like they knew her name and everything. It was it was this weird Cheers thing. Like
Yeah,
everybody knows your
yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah.
People would come up to
And
each
hates
other's
you, but
tables and be like, "Hey, by the way, I'll get you next time," or like, "Hey, by the way, really great sermon you
right,
gave,"
right.
or like, "Hey, Elysium was fantastic," and it was so positive. It's 3 in the morning. Everyone's blasted tired, but everyone's got so much energy and adrenaline, and everyone's so positive.
Yeah,
And it is like if you think the LARP is good, the Denny's afterwards is basically the after party where everybody says what we do is fucking insane, but we're all in it together.
yeah.
And you know what? Thank you for showing up.
I miss that shit. To be honest, I'm gonna be like, I miss that shit. Yeah,
Oh God.
yeah.
Anyways,
Maybe you on the other side of all of this. Who knows? All right.
what do we got?
Let's see. Tristan Geek just downloaded The Last Unicorn. Got to go after that core memory. I remember seeing that movie on the cusp of my sexual awakening. Weird. All right. Well, like this has got to. This is now. This is no longer safe for work. Thanks for that.
Here's to your sexual awakening.
There you go. Thank you for following Zibarath, new follower. Thank
Oh,
you
thank you
so
very
much.
much. Appreciate it.
Ken Doyle, RE Maglites, they started watching the X Files. Forgot quite how big those things were till I saw one in there. Yeah, those old school, like, those old Maglites.
Oh yeah, the ones that were
from the
basically like,
'90s X Files ones.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they look like something you would put into a pneumatic tube to send a message. Hi,
Hey,
Dogberry.
DB. Hey, how you doing,
Dogberry,
buddy?
please
Come
don't touch literally anything you're near. Excuse me.
Everything, every single thing. There we go. Oh nope, gotta touch the thing. Gonna touching the thing. There he goes.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
For real though, mentions Tristan Geek. They're way better than phone lights and much easier to beat a man to death with than a cell phone. So yeah.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. When I moved into this apartment, I insisted on getting a mag light, and it's the old. It's not the LCD ones. It's the old,
Yeah.
like battery operated yellow ones,
Yeah.
and yeah, keep it by the bed because sometimes I need to see in the dark. But most of the time, if I hear a noise, I want the mag light.
Yeah,
So
you want to see it, and then you want to just beat it.
just hit it
That's
over
just-
and
yeah.
over. It's so heavy, and they know. They have to know.
Yeah,
that,
no,
like, that's what
it's
they.
very much on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Part-time geek. Hey, welcome back, part-time geek. Sadly, I used to give character points whenever players would bribe me with food and drink. I mean,
Same.
solid.
Same.
Yeah, no, everybody knows. Eagle
Yeah.
D20 mentioning 3 a.m. Denny's hits different than Denny's at any other time. Also true. There's a magic to it. There's a certain a liminal just magic that happens at that point. It's like
Yeah.
it's the past day is technically over, but not really. But the new day hasn't begun, and you're at Denny's and probably stoned or drunk or some combination thereof. So yes. Uh, hey, we got first of all the late night Waffle House. Also, yes, true. Dogberry did nothing wrong.
Eagle 20 with Dogberry did nothing wrong.
That's
Are we
amazing.
hashtagging my cat now?
Yes, yes.
Hashtag Dogberry did
Nothing
nothing
wrong.
wrong.
Yeah, that's your new shirt.
Just a picture of my cat halfway in the frame, knocking over my 12-year-old scotch.
Yeah.
Dogberry did nothing
wrong. Fandible office hours. Dogberry did nothing wrong. Angela Kraft joining us here. The one, the only Mrs. Kraft. Logging on here and warned this channel is meant for mature audiences. Did I take a wrong turn? No, that's just a lie. That's just a lie we put in to
we
weed
get
out.
to choose that,
Yeah.
and we put it on like mature audiences
We
because we're
choose.
clearly going to talk about very
We chose
lofty
violence.
concepts. Oh.
And yes, part-time geek, you can beat a man to death with a cell phone if you're determined enough. I mean, you can beat a man to death with most things if you're not a coward.
Yep.
Honestly, but certain things make it easier, and a mag light definitely makes it easier than your average cell phone.
Oh boy, howdy does it. If anything, like a full-sized maglite with 4 D cell batteries in it, it implies a certain application that doesn't really it doesn't seem like it's just investigation. Which is why in Phasmophobia I always wonder, like, oh, is that why they made the
the weak flashlight is still, it's like this
It's
massive like
it's, it's
thing.
massive, yeah.
Yeah,
But
you
like
should be able to beat the ghost with it.
I would feel safe as hell going in there.
If they made it so you could beat the ghost, because once you get the good flashlights, there's no
They're
reason to have the other one because
Mhm.
it's so weak.
Yep.
But if they made it, okay, well you can barely see, but if you do see a ghost with it, you can just
Fun
beat
fact.
the hell out of the ghost.
Fun.
It's if they're made of if they're made of iron, they might disrupt the ghost. Look, there's science behind this.
Oh boy, we're getting a crossover with supernatural here.
Anyway,
But fun fact:
covered in salt.
a friend of mine from the LARPing scene in my hometown actually got a job as a security guard, and he was given a broken mag light. And when he asked about it, because he had like the loop on his belt and everything, and they're like, "Here's your flashlight." He's like, "It doesn't work." They're like, "No, it doesn't work." And he's like, "So," his next question was, "So you want me to hit people with it?" And they're like, "No, no." And he's like, "So why give it to me? To imply I can see in the dark when I can't?" And they're like, "No, no, no. It's just part of the outfit." And it's like, and he's like, "Yeah, to threaten people with the mag light because it looks like I've got a mag light."
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, well.
Let's see. Yeah, Angela. Hi. Eagle D20 asks, wait, doesn't Angela have a terrible LARP story involving a baby, not an actual baby? Angela does not know what, what they are talking
Was that
about.
the time that
Does she?
someone remind her of the babe?
I remember hearing Angela saying sometime, I throw the baby during a GTRT. I can't, she can't say she hasn't said that in a GTRT, but Dan, what? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know why.
Wait, why are you
How can I
yelling
drop?
about something I can't read? What, read it out loud. What are you talking about?
No, she says she can't say she hasn't said that in a GTRT. She has no idea what context could have been. What and what prompt? I didn't drop. What prompt did I drop?
How could you drop that prompt?
Mm.
I think that she is asking, why would you say that she did something like
I never
that?
did. I never did. Oh no, that was David. That wasn't me.
Oh,
That
drop
was
the
David.
prompt of you remind me of the baby.
Yeah, that
Thank
was
you,
Dave.
Angela.
That was Dave.
Which is why I locked eyes with the lens.
Yes.
Because immediately I was.
Yeah, I was paying no attention.
The babe with the power, Eagle D20. Um, oh yeah, no, please, chat. Go on, please make Angela happy.
The babe with the maglite.
The babe with the
Tristan Geek. Well done.
I love it. So Dan, another point of topic conversation that we were going to have is we are going to record after this somehow.
Yeah.
And we're going to record just you and I. And we are looking for two-person RPGs, not two-player RPGs.
Yes.
Two-person RPGs. So I'm going to assume one GM, one player. And
or no GM, two players, depending on the game.
I don't even know how that would work.
Presumably, the game explains. That's right.
I mean, smarter minds than I would have come up with that. I just don't know how that would work. So, I would like to take. God bless chat. They're still going through the lyrics of "Remind Me of the Babe." But I would like to go through some ideas about what we could play, and with chat, please give us an idea. Like, send it in the comments if you know of any games that we could play tonight. And we are accepting applications for both a normal game and a Rebel Radio, because we're not specific. So if we have to get seriously messed up in order to play a game that you all would enjoy, you know what?
No, we'll take that hit for you.
We're willing to be the sacrifice for that. And with that, Dan, can we take like a 1.5 minute, just real quick?
Make it two. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We will be back shortly. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yep.
We'll be back.
And Angela, go ahead and explain to the people how you kicked a baby.
Yeah, please. Please explain yourself.
Actually, Angela, she's just texting us now. Hold on. She's going to explain why she's actually flipped over to the other side and actually really loves magic. So, stay tuned for that. We'll be back in 1 minute.
All right, give me a second. And Oh, we back.
Hey, everybody. So, thank you very much for patiently staying on with us. I understand that Angela and possibly Billy
Yeah, Billy's in there.
are mixing it up with you. And so,
Uh,
what do we got?
Mostly shit talking PBTA.
We'll go on.
First of all, let's see. We're going way back. We're going way back. Where Billy first showed up to defend his wife from the lies, the lies. Uh,
What lies?
or rather to step in before Angela found a way to murder you from afar.
You mean like with
As
a fireball, like that wizard murdered my
she
character in
does
my.
mention that if her good character is going to be slandered in such a way that she would just go back to playing some more Zomboid. Um, on topic, Ken Doyle does mention that if two player equals one GM and one player, he knows of Cthulhu Confidential and a Knights Black Agents, which I actually have the book for by Pelgrane Press. But I think that would probably require more prep. Yes, they're not something that we would be able to pick up and play within minutes, which is a topic that comes up again very shortly. Eagle D20 agreeing that Zomboid is fun. People chatting around. They mentioned Strike, the fighting game tabletop RPG.
Ooh.
That's interesting. That's one worth looking into. Uh, Billy mentions that we were originally going to record a game that Jesus was going to run for us. That was I forget the name of it, but it was this world where there's necromancers, and every 100 years there's like 10 years of darkness, and people raise
Iron Iron
something
Surge
something.
something. I'm gonna look right now.
Sounds like a dope idea, but we have not played it before. So yes. So as Billy mentions, Angela and he have a strict never learn new game last minute policy on account of that almost breaking up Fandible with Apocalypse World.
Nightfell is the game
Nightfell.
we were going to
Yes.
play.
Um, and Phoenix Scientist tossing up Reflections as a good two-player RPG. Add
Ooh.
that one
All
to
right,
the
we're gonna
list.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not writing
we're
it down now, but we will
yeah
review.
we will review this chat because
Yeah.
there are some good ones. Let's see. Eagle D20. Sorry, I thought Strike. I meant Fight. So Fight, the fighting game RPG. Uh,
I
and
mean,
yes,
I'm actually really into that one because then if
yeah,
I edit
yeah.
it, I can put in all of the 8-bit fighting stuff that
Right,
we've
we have so many.
amassed
Yeah,
as a podcast.
We have so many sound effects.
I have I have purchased so many packets while part of this podcast. Um,
Let's see, and then we roll right into just hating on PBTA for a while. So we'll skip some of
yeah,
that, but
it's basically wiffle ball for hating on a game. But
yeah, yeah. Angela mentions that though, despite this law, this rule, what you and I are about to do is just pick up a game that we've never seen before, read it through in 5 minutes, and go to air with it because we are truly rebellious.
oh yeah.
So
Oh,
this
so
is true.
is it a Rebel Radio?
It's
Because
gonna have to be.
it's gonna have to
At this
be,
point.
isn't it?
At this point, yeah.
So
Uh,
it's gonna have to be a real short game or a real intense game that we read shortly, that we basically get through the introduction, and we're like, we got it. It's fine.
yeah, yeah. Vote for Fiasco, which is technically GM-less and can technically be played with two people, but
No, because you need people who die and you need
I'll
people
die.
to interact. I
Mhm.
don't know if you can do it.
There's
one
probably a
person.
way, but still, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Let's
don't
see.
get me wrong, listeners and viewers. I miss Fiasco and Final Girl with my friends.
Yes, yes.
I miss it so bad. Fiasco used to be the seat of my goddamn power before Shadowrun came along. Anyways, what do you got?
Let's see. We keep going a little bit more. Now we're morphing from bashing played powered by the apocalypse and moving into saying good things about Blades in the Dark
Okay,
and their system, which is descended from
that's so
play.
good.
Let's see here. More talk about PBTA. Flashback moves, whatnot. Okay, we are getting back now. I mentioned that there's just a lot of wildlife that has to be wrangled around here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was accused of calling you a dog. I mean, it's
I
and
mean, uh, all right. It's not the worst thing I've ever been called, and also not the least applicable. So
uh, let's see here.
I mean, we could shoot our viewership up
Yeah.
like it by tenfold if I brought Rita here and like just had her sit in between us in a Fandible t-shirt. Wait,
Okay,
now
yeah.
that I
So
say that,
Billy's been like just adding. We just haven't gotten to your parts yet, Billy. We're getting there. We're getting there. So Billy is and Angela are both bringing up Zomboid, which
my God,
is
is this a
they
Zomboid?
can't help it. They can't help it. Look, man, we're
They've
gonna do
got a
this.
sickness.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna need to do some
A
screaming jabroni.
Twitch.
So we're gonna need to stream this at some
We're going
point.
to need to do a Twitch stream of screaming
Yeah,
jabronis
yeah. Uh,
and the responsible members
yes,
of
yes,
Fandible,
yes.
and we are going to have to Twitch stream
Soon.
Zomboid
Zomboid.
Dills, whatever.
Yep, that's happening. That's happening. That's gonna be fun. All right. Let's see here. So, yeah, Billy's been helping out. Let's see. Part-time geek mentioned. Speaking of sounds and the like for the broadcast, if I'm not mistaken, the BBC has released their entire sound effects library to the public,
We'd have to see if it's
to the
the
British
British
public
public, yeah,
or
because
us.
BBC's licensing is very
Yeah,
specific.
but it's worth. Yeah,
But
because yeah,
holy
that
God, if
would be
that's
good.
true,
That would be
I'm
good.
going to use the sound of the psychic screwdriver for everything.
Mm.
That it's just going to be that and the Wilhelm scream over and over.
Just the things you'll do with those. Stevedore too mentions they would like to recommend Street Fighter, the storytelling game. It's an awful recommendation to just pick up, but they'd still like to suggest it. Street Fighter seems like a game that does better with fewer players.
A challenger emerges.
Yes,
Yes. Oh
yes.
my God. I it it never occurred to me
Yeah,
that that
this
was a.
is Street Fighter, and it's World of Darkness. It is. It
Oh,
is.
it's a hack.
No. This was an official release, wasn't it? I think it was. I think it was a real game,
Have
but it
you
was
been
built.
smoking crack while I went to the bathroom?
Yes, but I remember
Street
this.
Fighter.
I
Because
think
I
it
know
was,
that
and it used the World of Darkness
because
rules.
I know that a game was just released for the superheroes game. What's it called? It was a wrestling. They did a
Oh yeah, it
wrestling.
just came out.
companion.
Just came out. Yeah.
And
Uh,
that could work if we just over the next 20 minutes accidentally learned
maybe,
a system again.
maybe.
But
We'll figure that
but
out.
Street Fighter,
Mm,
yes. Is there Marvel versus Street Fighter? No, because lawyers. But
yeah, because lawyers. But yes. I'm. Okay, looks. I'm gonna skip to the end because I think Angela's leaving. Yes. Good night, Angela. Thank you for joining
love
us. Yeah.
Bye.
So let's see here. Yes, so Street Fighter, the game, it wasn't great.
Wait,
It
does
wasn't
that
great.
imply that Billy is still rolling up his like cuffs?
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
I will fight someone who says something bad about Zomboid.
You know, he's still here for Soundboard game stream one night. Yes, Eagle D20, that's gonna have to happen. Screaming Jabroni's featuring Angela Kraft.
Hey, viewers. We love the fact that we were actually talking about this before we went on air. Billy loves Zomboid, and his love of it is infectious. I'm gonna play it.
Yes.
Dan started playing it, even though he does not like survival games or zombie games.
Yeah, and yet there I am, enjoying myself and just infesting us with cherries.
Yep. And the only thing that I ask, because I'm going to play it, is that you, people who have never played Zomboid, make completely baseless accusations about why Zomboid is bad right now. I think personally, I think that the air quality aspect of the game, where you need to where you need to affect the air quality of your home when you house inside of it, because staying inside of a house and then having HEPA air filters is a huge part of the game.
Yeah,
from
big,
what I've
big.
heard. Yeah.
There's a lot.
And,
There's a lot. There's several HEPA related skills. It's a full skill tree.
Exactly.
There's a lot.
I
There's a
feel
lot.
like that bogs down the rest of the system, which is strangely much like Frogger, if I've heard correctly, and I like to think I have. So, yeah, Frogger-based zombie game doesn't seem super fun, but I'm willing to try it, Billy. I'm willing to try it. But yeah.
Let's see. I may not. Tristan Geek mentioned that I may not like survival games, but my circus man character with his pet monkey lives on in his heart, and in mine as well. In mine as well.
Oh God, you're fucking. Oh God, that game was so hard.
Yes.
Also, one of the hardest laughs I think I've ever had in Fandible is you saying, "The monkey has more kills than I do."
Yes, yes. That's good
Like you
times.
had some banger
Good
one-liners as
times.
that character, but then like yeah, we and then excuse me, and then Billy asked you to do your like vignette personal
Mhm.
thing, and it was hard. You
Yeah.
basically put your grandmother to sleep
What?
because zombies were overrunning the place,
Yeah, yeah.
and like she was taking
Oh,
medicine, and you were
oof.
like, it's time to
Yeah,
go to sleep, Nana.
yeah,
Time to,
yeah. I
time to go to
remember
sleep.
that.
Like
That was rough.
I remember watching this, being like, this is why I'm playing a parkour character that believes in like God and like steals shit. Like I'm not
Yeah.
at the drop of a hat, not like. Ugh. But like you stepped to the plate, you stepped up to the plate and like
That's what I do, man. That's why
sucked
I'm the
the
talent.
air out of me with your like drama and then you're like, how about Changeling? That'd be great. Oh, no. Then you're like, how about Demon the Descent?
There you go.
Yep.
Good times. Let's see. Baseless accusation. Blood's clearly aiming to normalize COVID. Uh, boy. Uh,
Oh, I think the American public is doing just fine with
yeah.
that.
Having never played Zomboid, I know I'll never play it because of the poop management mechanics. Unrealistic.
Yes, keep it coming, keep it coming.
Billy is there ready to defend it. Okay, so we're bringing Street Fighter World of Darkness game. Was not good. Says Eagle20. There was a spiritual successor called Thrash, which also was not good. Fight, however, is a bit more modern. That's the one they mentioned earlier, and on sale right now for like $3 in drive-through RPGs. So the price is right. They also have a second edition, even that seems neat. So more reason to check it out.
I mean, is it? I'm gonna look at it right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Like hell yeah! What's it called? Thrash?
Thrash, I guess.
Hell
No,
yeah!
Thrash is the bad one.
Oh,
Fight, fight,
oh,
fight.
thank you. No,
Thrash
David,
bad.
no, David, no.
I was like, no,
I'm on Thrash. Let's do it. All right, that's amazing.
we're checking that one out right now.
All right, so thank you very much for all of that.
Yeah.
Please keep your completely baseless zomboid accusations coming. It's really just giving me joy in my dark heart. So Thrash.
Yeah, ELD20 mentions that Thrash is a spiritual successor. So it's not Thrash, it's Fight.
Fight,
Thrash is the
fight!
bad one.
Oh my God! Why do I keep doing that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, all right, and Billy is now out. His zombie world of darkness has been insulted. He has
Oh, love you, Billy.
made an enemy
Bye.
tonight, and
Love
he
you,
is out.
buddy.
I mean, he might be out, or he might just be putting on. Not sure.
Oh, do you think he's maybe been bitten, and so he thinks he's out, but then
Now he's out.
like 5 minutes from now, he's
Now he's out definitely.
yeah. Well, you know, but we are going to definitely, if we all play Zomboid, we're gonna stream it.
Oh
We're
yeah.
gonna stream the fuck
Yeah,
out
that's
of it.
that's gonna happen.
And you're gonna
soon.
see how much I curse because I hate video games that I'm not super good at. Okay.
We found the game. We found the game. Dope.
Yeah, fuck it, I'll buy it. Oh, $20. That's not right.
Oh, that's the second edition, I guess. I guess the first edition is the one that's
Yeah.
for $3.
Okay, fight.
Because I know Drive-Thru was also having a general sale recently, but that might be over.
Oh, first edition. Here we go.
Yeah.
RPG Geek. All right, we'll figure it out.
There we go. Yeah, first edition is on sale. Yeah, that's
so.
it.
I have one other idea
Mm-hmm.
for what to play,
Mm.
and that is, I don't know how many of you have been listening to, or our patrons have been listening to our episode zeros of the Eberron game that I am planning to run. My only idea that I've had tonight is I run one game that is simply an interview
Mhm.
between your character, your detective character in the Eberron game, and a suspect.
Mm.
And we just role play.
It's good. Could work. Could work.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, but I feel like there's a system. We need a system.
Yeah.
We're very, very much good at a system.
Yeah.
but I liked the idea.
Yeah. There's
Uh,
something. There's something there.
there's something there, but is it tonight there is the
Mm,
problem. So
nah.
we need something that we can play right away that isn't Save Dave.
Yeah.
By the way, Save Dave was fantastic. Please listen to it.
Yes.
Um,
The author apparently just retweeted. So
yeah, and the thing is, you're supposed to have at minimum 2 players.
yeah.
I guess for Save Dave. I could run Save Dave with one because let's be clear, it's not that specific.
It's not that. Yeah.
Yeah, and was it Jason Layton? Something Layton.
Yeah.
Sorry, gonna butcher that name. But yeah, so we can run the fighting game RPG, which wouldn't be too bad. And then I guess we'll figure. Uh, sorry, Part Time Geek says something about Save Dave.
Yeah. Save Dave was Amazeballs, which it
Oh,
was. Which
thank
it
you.
was.
I saw the dot dot dot, and then I couldn't see very much because it was very small font.
Yeah.
Uh,
I love Save Dave. The fourth wall breaks were hilarious. Mentioned Skysark 42.
Thank
So,
you.
good times.
Thank you. I was super happy about that. I hope you all enjoyed the shout out to the patrons that we did a little skit for. I'm trying to do more of those because I feel like y'all deserve it. So trying to be more fun about that. But yeah, I just love the idea that Save Dave is so kind of funny. It's meant to be funny and silly, so that the idea of them being part of like the cheapest movie ever, or like first episode of a show ever made. Yeah. So Zomboid. I'm sorry. The Part-Time Geek says Zomboid.
It promotes critical race theory, of course.
Undead Dating Simulator or Psychotic Break Murder Simulator. You decide.
Yeah, I mean, it could be.
I'm sorry, did you say critical race theory? What are you talking about?
That's it right there.
What does it promote? Critical life theory.
Oh.
Race.
What, dude? I don't know, man.
What is happening?
Look.
You're going to get us on a list? We're never going to be allowed on Twitch? Oh my God. How is this so? Yeah. The Part-Time Geek quotes from my Save Dave game. Y'all keep doing that. I'm gonna keep running Save Dave.
Yeah,
because
for real.
I happened upon it as I googled like shortest RPGs to run, and that one came up. And of course, because I'm a narcissist, I clicked on the one with my name, and it turned out to be like fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely knew what it was right off the bat, and the author was super stoked that we played it. And if anything is a through line for Fandible, it's that we love indie games.
Yeah.
We can't necessarily call ourselves like an indie game podcast.
Yeah.
But we have played and do like the bigger games like Vampire and D&D.
Yeah.
And I would consider Shadowrun definitely a part of that.
Yeah.
But there is something absolutely wonderful about finding this kernel of brilliance in indie games where somebody wrote 10 pages.
Yeah.
And of course, I say that because I'm sitting next to a absolute genius of the genre, because Dan has released a number of banger short games.
Some of them under 10 pages. The upcoming one is, I believe, 94. I lost count.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll look forward to it.
Mistakes were made.
No. This one is like you become the Stephen King.
Yeah.
Of, like, indie RPGs.
This last one is.
It's like you're writing the Dark Tower like sequel, and people are like, "When are you going to get it done?" And you're
I'm just like,
"Sorry, couldn't hear you. I'm turning off my Twitter."
Exactly, and just tossing out a dead possum from my window and closing it again. That's the only response. Like, What's that supposed to see? Does that mean he's working? What
I
does that mean?
guarantee,
Like,
viewers and listeners, he is going to do a new DLC. Sorry, new
yeah.
expansion. Sorry, I've been playing a lot of video games. A new expansion for Three Goblins before he actually gets the new project done.
Oh, fucking hell.
Um,
That's the saddest part. If I told myself I had to just put something out tomorrow, I could put out a Three Goblins expansion tomorrow.
and it would be
It
gangbusters
would. It
because
would.
Three Goblins, um, Cats and Corpses,
Mm.
and you did one other one, didn't you?
Okay, the Cats and Courses 2.
There we go.
Yes, and then Cupid Inc. and
Oh
then
yeah, Cupid
Hometown
Inc.
Magic
Uh,
yeah. There's again, yeah. There's been
yeah.
several.
So
There's been several. Oh crap.
maybe I'll just run one goblins with the with the originator of
Hmm.
Three Goblins.
Mm, mm, mm.
Oh, does that upset you? Perfect.
Yes. It makes me
Perfect.
irrationally angry. Irrationally angry. Um, all right, wait. We've got a couple more comments. Can we quote Shadowrun and get similar results? Asks part-time geek.
Can we what?
Can we quote Shadowrun and get
Oh
similar
yeah,
results?
of
Yes,
course. Quote
yes.
Shadowrun till your heart's content.
Yeah.
I don't remember many of those games. So many have been going on, but if you quote them, I will clap my hands like a chimp and laugh because it'll come back.
Yes, yes. Uh, Eagle D20 Dave, you're gonna get us on a list. You're probably already on a list based on your search history.
Thank you.
Man,
Okay, well, good to know who my CIA,
Yeah, exactly. Like who your
who
handler
my
is.
NSA
Yeah.
watch is.
Part-time geek mentions Zomboid. Again, I'm not sure if I like how you have to collect 100 possum recipes for an achievement. I mean, possum's good eating in Apocalypse.
I mean, I know it
Just putting
seems
it out there.
impossible.
Oh boy. Eagle D20 with 5 goblins and spandex, the Power Rangers splat book. I mean, I do already have rules in it on basically doing like Goblin Voltron, which is what Power Rangers do
But
anyway.
we're still working on Are You a Cop? And
Yeah,
I
that
want to
has.
come out with Are You a Cop so
Mm,
badly. But I don't dislike the idea that it's part
mm.
of the Goblin verse.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It would. Oh yeah. No, that
Yeah.
that 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 makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
actually.
Are You a Goblin? Crossover.
Yes. There we go. Like we quote Shadowrun and get you to run Shadowrun, a la the Save Dave promise. Tricky, tricky.
Yeah, fuck it. Bring it on.
There you go.
Bring
There
it
you
on.
go. There you go.
Bring it on. Definitely
Stroke,
not
stroke.
because I'm already planning to run Shadowrun,
There
but
you go.
because I
There you go.
love my ego to be fed
Exactly. Stroke
like a
it.
goddamn Rancor or a Sarlacc pit. And can you tell that I've been watching the Boba Fett show? It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right.
All right. Yeah.
Hello, part-time geeks kid. Yep. Who's this? Hi.
Oh,
And should
hi.
probably not be watching this. I don't care how old they are.
Yep.
Don't care how old they are. The 31 should not be watching.
This is only for retirement homes. That's what
Yeah.
our stream is for. Is please. That is what we were for.
Yeah.
So Dan,
Yes, sir.
if you had to choose,
Mm.
what kind of what kind of one player game you would play? Would you like a fantasy game, a sci-fi game,
Mm.
or a modern day game?
Kind of. Kind of leaning towards modern day for some reason.
Interesting.
I'm
All
not
right.
sure why, but
All right.
I can do any of them, honestly. I'm easy.
Okay. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
but
They're 11 and I'm listening on headphones. Smart man. Smart man.
they're 11.
But they can presumably read and the chat is on the screen. That's all right. That's all right. Honestly, all the horrible things are just us, mostly.
Yeah. Ideal.
Quoting Shadowrun, just Granick screaming as he falls.
Oh my god.
Just, ah!
Oh my god.
Granick,
I would really.
Shadowrun.
Oh, I love that. I love
You
that
gotta
so
have the
much.
Doppler effect.
I love how like I'm known for like the David Dice of just rolling terribly, but I do love the fact that Jesus loves magic so much.
Yes.
But every time he plays a magician, it is a fucking travesty. It is a complete
The worst.
nightmare every time. Um, all right, so we are coming up at 9:20.
Yeah,
Well, it's
hour and a half.
9:17
We've
now.
been live for an hour and a half.
Yep. So we are going to start shutting it down. If you have any more
Hmm.
questions, then please fire them off in the discussion.
Doobly doo.
And we are going to take a look at all of your recommendations for a one person, one storyteller RPG.
Just throw another one out. This one would require some prep, but there is a game called Mythic.
I guarantee we.
It has a book which has a thing for a GM emulator.
Huh.
Okay. Yeah, that's worth Mythic.
Okay.
Look that one up.
Interesting. Okay. Well done. So we got some really great ideas.
We do have a question from Phoenix Scientist. Why, oh God, why?
Um, because you scream to a god that has no ears. Next.
GMless games. Let's see. I really hate how Sunboyd makes FRR shut down before I'm ready. Okay. Don't listen to Yieldy 20. Play Street Fighter, the storytelling game. Says Stevedore 2.
I mean, look, I love the idea of whatever fighting game is actually an RPG, specifically between like a fighter and an
I just want to look because I remember
it.
holding that book in my hands at one point. Like it's a real thing, and I'm just like, yes, I did not make that up. It's real. I've held it in my hands. I wish I still owned
it sounds like a zine. It sounds like something that was printed on
it was
somebody's.
real. It was real.
All right, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone, thank you very much for watching. This has been a complete thrown together situation.
Yes.
I'm sorry. What the part-time gig?
I remember making a blind aikidoka.
I think that's an aikido.
Yeah, I guess so.
Specialist.
Yeah.
So
in Street Fighter. Yeah.
Thank you very much, and yep, love you all, and please enjoy our podcast, and we look forward to seeing you next weekend for another Fandible Office Hours, which we might have an actual image for.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Might,
next time.
no promises.
Might,
but
we might start on time.
And
And take us home, Dan.
good night, folks.